What is up, everybody? Welcome to Geeks Around. I am your executive producer, Deanna Jackson. We are here, of course, for the Agent Carter discussions. Before we even get into all that, I want to thank our associate producer and lead host, Matt Moore, for covering these things. I wanted to be here with you guys from the beginning to do these discussions. Unfortunately, the first week the show was on the air, there was also CES going on in Vegas, and that's where I was. But I'm back in full rotation now, ready to take on the reins of the Agent Carter discussions, and looks like I picked a hell of a good week to do so. Let's introduce the rest of our panel, starting off first, of course, with Charles Whedon. What's going on, man?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, and I did enjoy the episode very much.
Yeah, I thought this was a good one. It's it's a good episode when even Isaiah here agrees that it was a good episode.
Definitely, yes. If Isaiah says it's good, it's like borderline masterpiece, which it was no masterpiece, but it was still pretty good.
That is true. That is true.
All right, let's see if we have a hat trick here. Lurad, what did you think of this episode?
So far, the best one of their Agent Carter season.
I definitely have to agree. Although it's I haven't been participating in these discussions, I was paying attention to y'all last week when y'all were talking about how it seemed like it was a filler episode, and I absolutely agree. Thought it was kind of ridiculous that a show with only 8 episodes would be having a filler episode. But this episode was definitely not that, in that it moved forward the plot in very good ways. I was kind of scared that they would kind of drag this whole trying to get these devices back for Howard Stark thing out for the entire 8 episodes, because the reason I was really excited about this show was when it was first announced is because I was hoping that it would show the formation of S.H.I.E.L.D. and, more importantly in my eyes, how Hydra got in on that ground level, because as we know from later on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that Hydra's been a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. since the beginning.
Right.
Since or very close to the beginning, and I was hoping that this show would expound upon that. Thus far, it hasn't really done that, and that's been disappointing, but it's been telling a decent story in its own right, and I really love the character of Peggy Carter, which has been the show's only saving grace thus far.
True.
Well, aside from that, I also am a fan of Jarvis. I think Jarvis is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would say that for
Jarvis,
according to my perspective, Peggy Carter is not the only saving grace in the show. I mean, Jarvis is also. I love the back and forth between Peggy and Jarvis, and I mean, hell, even what's his name? The guy with the crutch at the SSR. I also like him a lot. I don't want to call him Cripple Man because then that makes me look like an asshole. So
it's called Cripple Man.
You could call him Mr. Crutch.
There you go.
Y'all are messed up. His name is Sousa, y'all.
Sousa, okay.
Cripple Man.
He's a cool character, but honestly, he's not worth remembering the name of.
Exactly, thank you. He's like a bootleg Daredevil.
Well, I still think he's going to become Carter's husband.
Of course.
Yeah, it's that seems to be the kind of general direction that they're going in with this, building up their. It's kind of hard to even call it a relationship at this point, but
foretelling.
Certainly the person that Peggy Carter is friendliest with in that building, since everyone else is a raging asshole.
Yeah,
but he's also the only one who treats her like a lady.
That too, yes.
Well, he's the one that treats her like a fellow agent. Yeah. Everyone else is she seems to be the person that takes their lunch orders and answers the phone.
Yeah, which got annoying.
The back and forth with Jarvis is also good. Everybody else is a second-hand character. I think next week we get the Howling Commandos. So it could be shaping up to be a good Final Four run the way it's going.
Yeah, next week's episodes are going to rock for that reason. We're going to start seeing the Howling Commandos and actually Peggy being out in the field as an SSR agent, as an SSR field agent, I guess I should say. So yeah, it's I'm excited to see that, but I was excited this week to see the return of Howard Stark.
Oh yes.
Oh, you mean Mr. Womanizer, the man whore?
That's Mr. Man Whore.
Mr. Man Whore went from room to room on that floor.
Right?
I mean, who in that building did he not sleep with?
Hey, that motherfucker's like room service and shit. It's like, hey, can I get you some cheese? Can I get you a bottle of wine? Can I get you some dick? What are we doing?
The D on sale? Oh, the D on sale. All right, let's go with some D.
Yeah. It's like,
Dude,
you want the D? You want the D?
I'm sorry, the way he be slanging that shit, he should have 50 million kids.
I'm saying, it's like, you know, Tony got some like illegitimate brothers and, fucked up cousins and all sorts of shit.
That's the plot for
Yeah.
Iron Man 4. Tony's illegitimate brothers come forth.
Yeah, it's like, I think what makes sense. Like, all those armors that Tony built, he got armor for all of his fucking half brothers and sisters he got out there. Whitlock and
Right.
motherfuckers out there.
It was really weird though because he was pretty much foreshadowing Tony himself in the movies because he was doing some shady stuff, which is true, but it's gonna be foreshadowing Tony's life as well. He's doing shady stuff for the good reasons, but it's still shady.
Well, I would totally laugh my ass off if Peggy Carter got drunk one night with Howard Starks and she was the one who gave birth to Tony.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh.
As out of character as that would be for Peggy Carter, I have to admit that would be hilarious.
That would be a great plot twist.
Yeah.
A twist.
That would be the biggest twist to Steve Rogers'
Yeah,
life.
I came up.
Wouldn't that blow his mind? It's like,
I know
no, that's it. That's exactly it. And that's what leads to the entire goddamn Civil War storyline. That right there. Steve Rogers figures out that Tony is the son of the woman he loved, and that motherfucker can't take it. And he gets pissed off, and yeah, that's how the whole thing between them starts.
It's like, I mean, you ain't my kid.
called it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not the father, so hey, don't be mad at me.
Don't be
You
mad at me.
are
My dad
not
was a
the
man
father.
whore.
Hey, it's like it's not my fault my daddy hit it and you didn't.
It's my fault my daddy's Trojan didn't work properly.
You just mad because my dad did what you never could.
Right. Keep it up.
I can see like some sort of like fan film on YouTube or someone like doing some animation or some shit and making this happen. College Humor, I hope you guys are watching. Make this shit happen.
That'd be so funny. Oh god.
But this episode is like in addition to the humorous return of Howard Stark.
Mr. Motorcycle.
Right.
Anyway, really? I can't fucking win. Like all of a sudden, it's a loud ass motherfucker outside on the motorcycle show. I don't know. Sorry, viewers. Hey, live broadcast. What the fuck can you do, right?
Exactly.
Just turned out to Comedy Central for the hour.
Yeah, basically. But in addition to Howard Stark's humorous return and whatnot, we also found out that there's been things he's been very specifically not telling Peggy, and that this all hasn't been about his little black box of inventions that could potentially destroy the world.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another very important thing, which had personal ramifications for the both of them, was a vial of blood belonging to none other than the, as far as they know, late Steve Rogers.
Right. Which was really shocking. It was like, wow. I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. I really did not see that coming.
Well, what he explained when Peggy actually got all pissed and like punched him in the eye because of it and started screaming at him, and he tried to rationalize the whole reasoning behind keeping that vial of blood. The way he rationalized it, saying that it could be used for like medicine and all that kind of stuff, that's all great, but I do not think that was the real reason. I think they kept the vial of his blood to replicate the super soldier serum, or at least try to.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
I believe that theory more.
That's actually true, though. They did try to do that. They tried to make copies of it. Even Bruce Banner was part of the project himself. That's why he's trying to like.
That's how Bruce Banner became the Hulk. Yes, we know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to help out there. He's such a rude person.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I mean, I've been reading a bunch of stuff saying it's like, well, you got to give Howard the benefit of the doubt and whatnot. And I'm like, actually, see, no, I don't. What people seem to forget is that by the time, Tony came about and before Tony completely reformatted the company, Stark Industries was a weapons manufacturer. That's what they did until Tony decided to stop doing that.
Well, after he got to his accident and his heart got destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like the point is, before that, they were a weapons manufacturer under Howard Stark. So his whole thing is about, building these weapons. Steve Rogers' blood, that's probably one of the better weapons you can have.
They pretty much the top of the line.
There's guns and whatnot. And then there's an army of fucking Captain Americas.
That's scary. Oh, that's really scary.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think Peggy is right to not trust, to at least not trust him on that aspect at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about? No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say really quickly that knowing fact he had the blood, he was rational in some good reasons, and we said it was still stupid reasons because you kept someone of your friend's blood for your own gains. It's also going to transfer over. Again, I'm going to go to the movies again, but it's going to be very brief because it transfers like Tony was trying to do something good for his own teammates and the world, but it backfires again and people can't trust him. This is just like a repeating cycle for his own character and his own family tree. So it's really cool they brought this up.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. And what I'm really hoping happens is that we see this vial of blood. It's like, as we know right now, is at least out there. So it's like my main curiosity right now is what happened to it after the events of everything that we'll see during this here miniseries.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, if it gets destroyed, it gets destroyed, but if not, then one only has to assume that it's been around even for all the years that Captain America was still, frozen in ice.
And how did
are you saying that if this vial of Captain America's blood survives through past the end of Agent Carter and into the return of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., that it's gonna have an appearance in either the second half of season 2 or sometime in season 3?
Not necessarily into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. itself. Although maybe that wouldn't surprise me. It's like, well, yeah, we know how, at least to a certain extent, how it could potentially tie into the movies. I mean, as we all know, experimentations in the same program is a part of what gave Bruce Banner his abilities. Who's to say that this very vial of blood that we're arguing about right now did not lead into that somehow, some kind of way.
Right. Also,
because that's how I'm kind of looking at every episode here. It's like every episode of Agent Carter I see is like I try to think of, okay, how is what I'm seeing possibly having ramifications on the overarching MCU, in the future? Because this is what we're seeing here outside of the very, very first Captain America movie is chronologically the earliest example of the MCU that we have, is this show.
Right. And also, Super Soldier Serum did place a centipede, aka Hydra. They were using extremists of gamma radiation, which is Bruce Banner's blood itself as well, and Super Soldier Serum to make their own super soldiers. So this did have an effect on it, but it wasn't really profound. It wasn't really like, oh my god, this is so awesome. No, it was just very low.
Well, I would assume if they had Captain America's blood, they'd be able to create a complete copy of the original Super Soldier Serum. I thought all the other versions of Super Soldier, the extremists, the experiments that gave Bruce Banner his power, was an attempt to replicate it without the original Super Soldier Serum.
You're right.
But you need it's like
Charles is right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
If they actually had his blood, it's like they'd easily be able to take the enzymes and reverse engineer it, and they'd be able to do what they want. That's a good point.
Where does Winter Soldier come into play?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Maybe Hydra got right with him. I don't know.
No, because Winter Soldier's he's very skilled and very much he has the same. Well, not the same.
Well, in the movie Winter Soldier, I was only able to justify, or not justify, but be able to rationalize how the two were able to fight because of that metal arm, and that was
No.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
So-
the metal arm played a factor, but also he was able to go hand-to-hand combat with him like nothing. There's a little more to his
also-
backstory than we know.
Well, so was
the fact that
Batroc.
he was-
Batroc at the beginning of the movie was able to go up against him in hand-to-hand combat, not for very long, but he was able to hold his own for a little while.
Dude, if you know a little bit of karate,
Well-
you'll hold your own for a minute or two against Steve Rogers. Winter Soldier held his own with him for like a 5-minute fight, even with the shield.
Yeah, that's true too. Because
And he managed to
back
take
up-
the shield from Steve. And like
Right, and also to back up Leron's point is that Hydra kept freezing Winter Soldier up multiple times. He keep on freezing someone's own body, it's gonna be damaged. So the Super Soldier Serum was like a counterweight of it. So they could have used the Super Soldier Serum so the body itself would not be damaged.
Who knows? Maybe they found a way to get their hands on some of Steve Rogers' blood. You never know.
So they're part of, so it was possible and it could happen.
I mean,
Very
that
much so.
scientist, the scientist that they captured at the end of the first Captain America movie, he could have did some off-the-wall shit to get his hands on some Steve Rogers blood.
Right.
Well, I thought what happened is that I'm going into Captain America: The First Avenger again, but right after he got injected with the Super Soldier Serum, I think I remember him getting tested to check his vitals, and I think they might have taken his blood at that point. I mean, hell. If you, also in Agent Carter, I mean, they said that they took 11 vials and he kept 1, so there were 12 vials of Captain America's blood. 12.
Right.
Hydra could have had one, and to back up everyone's theory here, they could have been working on it. Who knows? They could have had all 11. They could have been in Hydra scientists' hands, and they took, I'll say, 10 vials to make it the perfect one, which gave to Winter Soldier, and that's how he's able to do what he does.
Here's an interesting theory. They could have used these vials of Captain America's blood along with the Loki scepter to create Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
No, that's a bigger. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but that's a little bit bigger stretch though, because what the scepter did was like unnatural. It was like unnatural natural beings. The serum is actually a science based and also a little bit grounded. The scepter is a little bit out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're using the scepter. They had some shit attached to that scepter that was pulling waves off of it. So who knows how they're gonna pull that off?
Yeah. Well, anywho, let's see. Okay, so beyond Captain America's vial of blood, I'm trying to remember what else is going on here. Yeah, Jarvis has a tell. He has a tell where you're like,
Pretty obvious tell. It's like, I mean, that was like the most overacted tell. It's like he might as well have just held up a sign that said, "I'm lying."
I mean, you figure it out in like the first scene when he's talking to those guys and they demand like $100,000. It's like, oh yeah, sure. I actually originally thought that it was a signal for like
So did I.
to come up, to come up behind those guys and like kick their ass. And then again, after the whole thing, he starts when they go looking for this whole like blitzkrieg switch or whatever, and he's rubbing his ear, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing there? I mean, could you not be any more obvious, Jarvis?
Well, Jarvis
I thought he was a military man. You know what I'm saying? It's like trained for this kind of stuff.
Nothing like Alfred.
Well, yeah, but once you're military, you kind of always are. There's a certain mindset that kind of stays with you when you're military, particularly if you actually see in combat. To have a tell that obvious, it's a wonder that boy's still alive.
I'm surprised he was in an army. Like, he was in an army? Oh, that's so confusing.
I like the new gun that they brought into play.
Well, the automatic pistol.
Yeah.
The automatic pistol that shot more than 6 bullets.
He was dancing.
But no,
doing a Harlem Shake.
No, I understand. I understand this is a TV show that is inspired by comic book characters. But I mean, come on, did they even have that type of firearm back then?
If it helps you at all, Charles, they also didn't have a serum that turned people into superheroes back then.
I understand that. I understand that. I'm willing to forget because I mean, hey, that's what gives Captain America's powers. But with that gun, that's a little. At least, I mean, I don't know.
The gun is something he has a problem with. It's like, are you kidding me right now?
Remember, Charles, the guns that they pulled out in the beginning of the episode were revolvers. The man just took it a step further and made it a machine gun revolver.
Yeah, it's just rare to find nowadays. I mean, there was revolver type guns.
It
like
was
that,
a cool gun. It was a very cool gun, and you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. So yeah.
Yeah, cool gun, completely impossible to pull off in real life.
The wall walking woman was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was true. Yeah.
I did not see that coming at all.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna hang on. It's like before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit more about, because we actually saw a little bit of actual work being done from the rest of the SSR agents to finally convince me that, hey, these people might actually know a little bit about what they're doing and how to actually do their fucking jobs correctly. I mean, it's like, first off, you have Sousa tasked with going to get these fingerprints, but seeing these guys over there and realizing that one of them definitely has seen something and trying to interrogate them. And even more impressively than that, to me, was Dooley going all the way to Russia to interrogate that old Nazi and tricking him into giving him the information that he wanted with a breath mint.
With a tic-tac.
Right. That was really good, though. I really like how that was going, and it gave me like a little sense of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's not so much, but a little like breadcrumbs of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they were doing a lot of cool stuff that actually was working, and it kind of made me think, like, I want to see more what they do with this type of idea. What would they do with if they found like Agent Carter? Well, Agent Carter was behind this whole hoopla. So it'd be really interesting how that plays out.
Yeah, for me, it's like, this is just the first time that I've seen them do really anything that I thought gave them a right, I guess you could say, to be in this super secret international organization.
Well,
that was the first useful thing I've seen them do. Is like, I mean, everything else they've done is kind of has been more or less chasing their own tails, or more accurately in this case, chasing Peggy Carter's tail.
Right,
because the only one that had damn clue what was going on.
But they got real serious, because when their own brother of arms was killed, he's like, okay, stop playing around. It's time to start doing some more and more heavy work. And that's when they got the real thing that they were actually real human beings, because one of their own people died trying to uncover the truth, and they went make sure his death doesn't go in vain. So that was really cool at the same time as well. They were doing it for a good cause, because they were really pissed off. So I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wholeheartedly agree. And then, of course, it's like, all right, might as well get to it. It's like the biggest surprise in this episode when we've talked about the gun. What we haven't talked about is the villain who had this gun, Mr. Mink, who I thought was actually a pretty cool villain. I remember watching this episode thinking, it's like, it'll be cool to see what happens to him. Turns out I didn't have that long to wait to see what happens to him, because the second that he met Peggy's neighbor, Dottie, it turns out that Dottie was a little bit more than all of us thought she was. Oh, she wasn't packing anything, but she did take a shine to his gun and decided that she wanted it, and then she summarily took it away from him.
She was packing them legs!
I know. It was like,
she just stood there and looked at the guy and says, "Is that an automatic? I want it." And then she just ran up the wall, landed on top of him, snapped his neck, and then landed on her heels like it was nothing. And I'm like, okay.
Just like Natasha.
Yeah.
Ooh, could that be Natasha's mom?
But one interesting theory that I had with that character is that I think she's KGB. I think she might be Russian.
It could be a possibility. Yeah, she could be.
I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil this for you guys. Like, she is absolutely a part of the same program that trained Natasha Romanoff. She is an agent of a very, very early version of the Black Widow program. That is not speculation. That is confirmed from the producers of the show in an interview they did a few hours ago.
Okay, well then, so I was kind of right, only wrong about the agency involved.
Really?
Yeah, you were right-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in all actuality, she's Russian. That is clear.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
she's like the American Russian, yes.
The what now?
She is the closest that this show is going to get to having a Black Widow. It's
Okay.
they won't actually say like a Black Widow during the show, but that's what she's gone through is a precursor to Natasha's training. It's like, I mean, you guys had to have noticed the fighting style was extraordinarily similar between her and Natasha.
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Also, since we're talking about how
I've heard the speculation online. It's like Lou Rod was joking about earlier. It's like maybe that's Natasha's mother. Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, but since we're talking about Howard Stark and everyone else, I hope and this is just me saying this, I hope we see Bruce Banner's father, because he does play another role too, but not really big. But I hope he does. I hope they do bring him in. That'd be really cool.
Bring him in for what?
Well, for all more science, like the more study the super soldier serum with the shield itself. Make everyone's all connected.
Okay, I guess I could see that.
Because the reason why I say that is because very briefly with how comic book history here is that the reason why Bruce Banner was actually his body adapted to gamma radiation is because his father tested on himself first. And that's why his son is more immune to radiation, gamma radiation. So it was like thinking, like, if they're going to use a super soldier serum down the road, they can use Bruce Banner's father so he can actually use more experiments to test it on himself, which will lead us to the Hulk. So I was thinking that he could be more involved, if that does happen, he'd be involved.
I suppose they could do that. It's like
They don't have to, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I could see it'd be cool. It's like, I mean, just to introduce Brian and have him there.
Right, but he's not a good guy. He's an awful guy. He's awful.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like, I mean, I could see, like, an introduction, even if, kind of like one of those things, like, as a nod to the people who know who Brian Banner is. I guess I could see that, but not actually have him as a part of a storyline, just as a kind of, a nod to the fans. Yeah, Brian was a part of this. Don't worry about it, and we'll get to that later. It's like, I actually wonder if they'd ever actually pull up his character for any of the movies, because I think we can all agree that out of all the characters currently in the MCU, Hulk is pretty damn underutilized, because he's had some pretty epic storylines in the comic books that they don't seem to be interested in doing at all in the movies.
It's kind of sad, though, because he has a really unique story, which is really sad, but it's actually explaining why he's so angry about life. So it's really sad.
Drew, wouldn't you be angry if you were always green?
Well, no, compared to my father, who's always he has another name though. He's called Devil Hulk for a good reason though, because he's the devil himself from the Hulk's eye, because he killed his mother in front of him, and actually threatened his own son. Like, if you say that, I'll kill you. It's like, what the fuck? So it was like really sad and really heartbreaking to actually read that type of bio behind the Hulk.
Yeah, but it's like I really, really would question whether or not they go there. It's like, I mean, it would certainly be cool to see. I would like to see it personally, but it doesn't match up because like the things that happen to the Hulk alone were interesting, but it's like I can't imagine that, like in all of the interesting, how to put this, the interesting Hulk storylines don't really tie in that well to what the direction that the MCU is going right now.
Right.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be cool on its own, but it's like we are gone from the days where standalone comic book movies were okay. At this point, it's like when it comes to these movies, particularly things in the Marvel Universe, we expect them to be a part of the Marvel Universe and tie into this greater story, no matter what it is. And
never had a chance to hit him.
Stuff doesn't.
I had brought up to Isaiah one night that they should just take the Hulk and move him to like Netflix and do something in a 13-episode arc for him to give him something, because we know we're not getting a movie out of him again. They've pretty much confirmed that every time. So do something with him. Put him on Netflix, 13 episodes, make it work.
Stop pulling Nintendo. Stop wasting him.
The immediate problem there is budget. I would say that straight up. Budget.
Yeah.
There's no way they'd have it.
Unfortunately.
I don't think Disney would ever give them the money they need.
It's like, I mean, doing a Netflix show is pretty much like doing one 12-hour movie. then that just wouldn't happen. It's like not with the special effects they would use to, well, first off, render the Hulk, unless you want to, go the old school route and paint Lou Ferrigno green and have him go.
Oh yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah,
That'd
but
so
awesome.
awesome.
Okay. AMC gives The Walking Dead a $3 million budget for each episode, so it can happen.
Yeah, Walking Dead also pulls in crazy ratings and has ads that they can sell. Netflix.
Well, that's the only problem with Netflix. There's no ads to sell. I'm glad they don't do that.
Oh yeah, it's like, that's not a complaint. It's like, man, if anyone from Netflix watching, it's like that. This doesn't mean I want y'all motherfuckers to start doing ads. No,
don't do ads.
No. What you're doing right now is fine. Fuck off, okay?
Yes.
Get that shit very, very clear. But yeah, but that would be the problem with doing a whole show on there. It's like, even if you look at some of the shows, like, I don't know how many of y'all watched Hemlock Grove on Netflix.
I do.
All right, okay. Did you watch the second season, Lurad?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the main bad guy turned into in the second season finale?
Oh my god, that shit was horrible.
Do you remember how shitty it looked?
Yeah.
Remember how horrible the special effects on there are? Now imagine doing a Hulk show on the fucked up budget that very clearly was responsible for that shit.
Oh god.
Do you feel me now, my brother?
Yeah, I got you. That was horrendous. Everything else in that show's been okay up until that.
I was so disgusted, man. I'm sitting there. I was in shock. I remember that shit. Yeah, we're going to go for a little bit of a tangent, viewers. Like, we'll get back. Just okay, Leroy. I was eating during that. And it's like I'm sitting there doing my thing. And all of a sudden, this, like, fucking wouldn't have been acceptable in a computer game from 2003 shows up on the screen. Dude, I fucking dropped my fork. I wasn't even paying attention. I was so blown away. My girlfriend sitting right next to me, her mouth is just dropped. She's like, what the fuck is that? I was like...
That was a mixture. I think he was a human head, a stingray-type body with wings, and a dragon tail.
What? Yeah. and it looked like it was drawn by
Etch-a-Sketch.
A 13-year-old with moderate Photoshop experience.
Oh, it
was the most
horrific.
That was the worst. I have to admit.
Viewers, just look it up on YouTube. I guarantee you somebody has it up there. What this thing looked like? It was the seriously, Lurad, tell him.
That is. I think it was more like 1990s video game graphics for that.
No, I wouldn't go that far because 1990s was better.
Oh, okay, then we'll go back into the 80s.
No.
Back in Nintendo Day graphics.
I think Piano was right. I think it was like
shit you would expect from like the Nintendo 64. Period. Point blank.
Well, Nintendo 64 had some pretty good graphics in it for its time.
Yeah, for its time.
It did in
go
some
back
games.
And look at an N64 game right now. Tell me what you think.
I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to get kicked from the Hangout with my internet.
I think Isaiah's looking it up. He's got that intense look. It was, yeah, that... I was okay with everything going on. The man turning into the wolf, that looked cool.
Yeah.
But the human dragon stingray thingy...
I will make a note of it right now, and... for those of you guys that are watching, it's like I will have a video of it up on geeksaround.com tomorrow. You see?
My God, if you saw Independence Day, that'd still be better. It's like, what the hell was this? It's like, was it Resident Evil bootleg?
If they would have just had like a stunt man with a sheet over his head with some eyes cut out of it, hanging from a fucking rope, that would have been better.
Oh God, that was. Come on now, come on. I'm sorry, man. That kind of made me mad.
The sad thing is, that's what got the series canceled after the third season.
Okay, we're gonna put money back and talk about Agent Carter now. I swear, but for you viewers, seriously, check out geeksaround.com tomorrow, and we'll have it up. Just for sheer hilarity, you guys got to see it. It was just, wow.
Oh God.
But yeah, anyway, getting back to Agent Carter. So going into this is like so now for honestly the first time in its entire show thus far, we the viewers know something that Peggy Carter doesn't know. I mean, up until now it's been pretty even. Yeah, it's like we know about Dottie, she has no idea. Now the question is that I'm posing to you guys, just to get your guys' take on it, is keeping in mind miniseries here. So how much longer do you think that Peggy is going to be in the dark about who her neighbor really is?
I would give it
Until
2
forever.
episodes. I would give it 2 more episodes.
No, I said forever.
Oh, what was that, Isaiah?
I said she ain't gonna know until she gets another season. She's not gonna know.
No,
Okay.
she will. They're not going to get another season because I don't think that's the point of this show. This is just to fill up the time slot until Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back, and it's a good fill up. But still, I give it about maybe 2 episodes, maybe 3 at the most.
Rod,
You know what?
I can go with the second season because why not have a film? It's only 8 episodes, so it works. I could see them maybe doing battle in the final episode with the conclusion, with the kickoff of season 2.
I mean, I don't think there is going to be a season 2. As far as we know, this is just a miniseries, and I don't really see it going to a second season. I mean, because I don't think that was the point. I don't
If
think that was the
ABC
point.
sees the ratings as decent or better than good, they're going to give this a second season because it's money in their pocket.
well, it's like I kind of foresee
Marvel's
two
making
possible
it,
outcomes as far as this is concerned. It's like either it's going to be a regular miniseries type deal when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on their hiatus,
Mhm.
or and the second one is the one I kind of hope they go with, is that every time that for all those little breaks that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes off the air, that there's that there's something there. It doesn't necessarily have to be Agent Carter, just another aspect of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that normally we wouldn't see, something to expound upon things, just something to keep things interested. This time it was Peggy Carter. Next time, who knows? It could be something with, like, I don't know, a young Phil Coulson to see some of his adventures back when he was first starting out with S.H.I.E.L.D. Or it could be yeah, it could be anything. It's like, I don't know, it could be something showing now that we know that Sky is actually Daisy Johnson, and we understand that. It could be like a miniseries showing us, okay, things her mother went through, the adventures that she had, her and Sky's father back in the day. But my point is that there's lots of potential to tell other stories in this miniseries format that would make sense to me, that I think I'd really like to see. And I obviously forgot to put my shit on silent. I apologize to y'all about that. Totally.
It's a shame. It's a shame that the X-Men or pretty much the Fantastic Four cannot be involved in the Peggy Carter storyline. That'd be really cool, though. It'd be so interesting to see how those characters react. That's just my thinking, just my wishful thinking.
Yes, that would be good, but that is a controversial topic that is dedicated for an entirely separate hangout.
True.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure that'll be a conclave down the road.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, lots of different opinions about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so right now it's like we're going to go ahead and kick it into wild speculation mode. Anyone got anything?
I got something, and I got to say it right now before I forget. And that is, I think that I think Tony Stark's mother has already been introduced in the show, and I think it might be that waitress.
What waitress? You don't mean Dottie, do you? You mean the other one?
No. The waitress that Peggy Carter became friends with, and she.
Oh, Angie.
Yes, I think that might be Tony Stark's mother. I think that because of Howard Stark's womanizing that thing, he's gonna maybe try to get with her, and she rejects him at first, and then this romance develops off screen between the two of them, and then we find out in a future MCU film involving Tony Stark, where we find out that was his mother.
You mean one shots?
Not impossible. Yeah.
Yeah. That is my only speculation, though. That's my only speculation.
So you're gonna give your speculation on Howard Stark's manhorism?
Yes, let's go with
Right.
that. Whatever works.
Fair enough. Isaiah, you got anything?
Yes. Since they brought up Captain America's blood, I hope they talk about more about Leviathan as well, and how the Leviathan actually is working with Hydra and also working with Shield at the same time. But that's another different story down the road. Is that they are very smart as well. They're a Russian Hydra. So it'd be really cool if they did find the blood, and it'd be really cool if they tried to use it on themselves, which backfires and turns them into monsters themselves. So that'd be really cool to see what will happen with them if they ever show up.
You know what I noticed?
Well,
The typewriter was going off at the end of towards the end of the episode. What if the captain finds out about Agent Carter,
Ooh.
but he keeps the secret only between him and her, and he starts to utilize her better?
All right, but no. What I think that typewriter was I think that whoever's on the other end of that typewriter knows that that typewriter has been found and is sending a message to the SSR, and I think that's what it is.
Here comes a good one. Here comes a good one. It could be the evil John Noble.
God damn it!
yeah. There really can't be a typewriter that types on its own without a Fringe reference. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
Yes, yeah, I know Fringe reference and all that, but Fringe is over, dude. Move on.
Fringe will never be over.
Thank you. It will never be over.
That is blasphemy.
Exactly.
I love Fringe as much as the next guy, but I mean the last couple of seasons.
Obviously not, because the next guy is me.
Exactly. And me.
I mean, Fringe was great, but it kind of started to lack its greatness during like the last couple of seasons. It kind of got out there.
Hey. Don't say bad things behind Fringe, okay?
I'm not saying it behind Fringe. I'm saying it to his face.
To murder Charles. I think we should go ahead in this particular episode of Geeks Around. I'd like to thank everyone on the panel for joining and you guys for watching. If you have anything for us, don't forget you can always email us at geeksaround@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us, youtube.com/geeksaround. Also, we invite and implore you to join with us in the Geeks Around community. You will find the link for that down in the description for this video. Until next time, my name is Deanna Jackson. See you later.